Hey, morning, guys. Just sending out this message. I was talking to my mom this morning, and she lives in New York City, and she was just talking about how the she was talking about the new normal now, and kind of seeing the landscape of New York City, and how people are being in fact impacted by what's going on over there, and what's going on with the virus, and where people are at with their just where they're at with their anxiety. And I was just reminded of a verse that comes out, Philippians 4:6, that we say a lot, and it says, "Do not be anxious uh, about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." And it was interesting. That's a verse that we use a lot, but I really don't want to actually talk about that verse. I want to talk about what kind of came out of that. We don't really talk about the process to get there. Paul said that in Philippians 4, but in Philippians 2, he talks about his anxiety and how his anxiety was high. And I think we have to step back as Christians and realize that, yes, God is in control. Nothing moves without God knowing, and God does allow what he allows. But we have to realize that the process gets us to the place where we can be strengthened. And, Paul, before he got to this verse of talking about do not be anxious, struggled with anxiety. And a lot of us are struggling with very real issues in our lives now. Let it be what's going on right now with the virus, or just fear, or personal issues. But if we can step back for a minute and realize that God's allowing these things to happen in our lives for us to step in and step stronger into the Lord, and he allows the process of life to happen so that we become strengthened and that we seek everything in him. And so, what I told my mom today, I was telling her, I said, we're all faced with different things. Fear is something we face, but in that moment that we receive it, we give it to God. Or the moments that we are struggling, we go to God. And so know that we're going to have real things happen, and it's normal to have the emotion happen. But let's step back and say, okay, I'm going to give it to God again and have him help me through it, and reach out to brothers and sisters to help me through the situations of life. And so just kind of a thought that I had today to just kind of made me think. It was a Selah moment, the process of life and the things that God allows for us to really seek him and dig deeper to him, and then be able to look back and say, I was able to master that because I went through the process. And the only way we grow in things is going through the process. And so that was just something that kind of resonated with me out of that conversation. So be blessed, stay safe, and really try to dig deeper into God's goodness in prayer and the word. All right? Take care, bro.